let's get onto this Bassman situation. I don't know if my people are still in the chat who was putting me onto this. We'll see if they pop up and that, or they might not want to say nothing. But I don't really, I don't know too much about this. I don't know too much about the brother other than the name. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from the drum and bass scene. But his accusations been made of abuse by a woman, young woman at the time, against MC Bassman, who's a legendary drum and bass MC, and apparently a load of other kind of accusations have come out. And I haven't been able to find much. Like, I haven't really found this reported anywhere legit or like mainstream either, right? I've just found some threads on Reddit with some screenshots. Yeah, shout out Mimi. She said I'm here for it. So I've just found some threads on Reddit with screenshots. And yo, Mimi, if there's anything specific that I should react to or whatever, I've got that video that you sent me the other day. I'm going to do that at the end because of the white supremacy stuff it says on it. I don't feel like it's the main point, but I'm going to do that at the end. First, I'm just going to go through the screenshots I've got. Shout out to Distant Planet TV saying good evening. I want to say something as well, right? Because I call out a lot of things. Obviously, people look at me as someone who calls things out, right? That doesn't mean like I jump on every accusation and go, oh my God, this person does that, cancel culture, blah, 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 right? Sometimes people will even come to me and go, oh, do you know this person, da, 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 or even like individuals will come to me and go, this person done this to me. And I'm all for giving them a platform to tell that story if they want, but I'm not always the first person to come out and break that. And now I'm in a conflict with that person. I'm the person coming at them. Like, I will speak on what is out there, right? I'm speaking on what is out there and what is being said. And one of my main focuses, and I think it's the one thing people miss, is I'm focused on looking at how people react to things, because I know that's a fact. So Bassman has had all these accusations against him, and we need to highlight them, and we need to say these things are wrong 100% if they happened, and there's evidence looking, very much like they did. But one of my biggest issues is like looking at the comments that come out and go, oh yeah, but what if this, and all the comments that come out defending. So a lot of the time, that's my issue. So I'm dealing with these people on YouTube who are openly saying racist stuff. I'm not here going, like, I'm exposing this person who did this and that. No, I've seen it right there. It's right there. Do you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so like I said, I'm going to get into this from a point of, just pulling up what I've been able to find about it online. So to respond to what Mimi said. Distant Planet said Bassman is a wrong un. Have you heard some of his lyrics? Mimi said you can look into Sly as well, in the same crew, done for our charge. I saw in some of these comments, I looked at this very briefly, like very quickly, so I haven't gone into depth, right? But I saw in some of these Reddit comments those things highlighted. So I'm just going to read out some comments, right? Firstly, this was the best screenshot I found of the original account that made a report about him. That was actually the second one. So let's just pull this up. It says, I was groomed and abused against my will by MC Bassman almost 5 years ago at the age of 20. So have many other women. I write this with tears in my eyes at the fear of being judged by something that has impacted me in ways I cannot explain. And then what I had up, I was forced to learn how to make and then given crack to silence me. I myself and many other young girls were taken to a hotel where a man who worked on the desk knew exactly what was happening to us. I have seen many other young women speak out online about this and had their posts deleted. That's the first bit that I was able to find, right? I'm going to close. I'm going to keep that tab open because I want to come look at the comments. But this was a bigger one, and I don't feel like I can't read it very well because those two screenshots were part of this, right? I'm just gonna. I can't make out the words on the screen, but well, I can't make it out and stay by this microphone at the same time for one. So I'm gonna have it on the screen so that hopefully people can read it just for a minute if anyone wants to pause it and read it. But this is more detail about what she's explaining, and those two screenshots came from there somewhere in the mix, right? I'll come back to this one now. So this is what's being said. 20 years old, 5 years ago. So someone in the chat tell me, how old is he now? So how old was he 5 years ago? If she's 20 years old. And you know, we're gonna definitely get them comments going, oh my god, well, it's completely legal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we'll see. I've got a comment here saying, dude has never been perceived as moral, upstanding member of society. D&B scene, gang-related mic chat in the 90s onwards, and links to Brum gangs. Not saying that automatically makes you a groomer, obviously, agreed. But this adds to his already dubious persona. Not a good look and shitty for the girls to deal with. Grooming and manipulative. F3 is some subhuman-ish. Sadly, there's a lot of ego. Yep. Loads of girls, other girls speaking up against him, turning up at parties with 15-year-old girls, etc. 15, yeah? Again, I'm just reading out the comments, yeah? I'm just reading out the comments, but that's what people are saying, do you know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen, like, the other accusations directly. I tried to find as much as I could. Like I said in the chat, if Mimi or anyone is able to, let me just check my inbox is open. Yeah, if anyone's able to link me anything else specific, let me know in the chat. Let me know you've sent me an inbox if you send me anything. 1 second. He's getting booked less and less, and it is lately, from what I've seen living across the pond. Him and Trigger had a falling out a bit ago. Not sure if they marked up, but they don't seem to be booked together often. Distant Planet said, I think he's over 60. Another comment, not sure. Defo hitting 60 because he was out in the 80s. So even if we said he was 60 now, he would have been 55 then 5 years ago with a 20-year-old at 55. All right, mate. Making them cook crack. Yeah, don't come to me with no, oh, it's legal. Well, it's definitely not legal to cook crack, is it? Someone said, well, I wanted to read that comment. Don't think going rate for a rave is going to be 1,000 much longer for him. He's been getting booked less and less. I saw a comment saying standard crackhead behaviour or something. What have I done with that comment? Did I just hide it or something? Did I click on it and hide it by mistake? Alright, we'll go to the other one anyway. How do I get out of that? So, alright. Getting bored of some of the dribbles. So someone got banned in this. I noticed it. It's been a long-term policy of mine not to ban people, but we're likely too big to avoid absolute cretins infesting the lower layers these days. I'm happy to ignore the odd rant, but okay, I don't know why that is. I don't have any context for that. Let's see what happens, but things look bad. He should go to jail if there is evidence of this terrible behaviour. Which is true, but this is the problem. Like, a lot of the time these people be like, oh, he should go to jail, and if not, then we should leave it alone. And it's like, well, most men don't go to jail for this stuff. They don't. So speaking about it might be all we can do. Do you know what I'm saying? Trigger ended SDC because he wasn't serious enough, and bang on the crack. DJ Sly was a predator to Ish MC anyway. Hope he gets what he deserves. Heard about Bassman being weird around younger women over the past few years, considering he was good pals with SDC with DJ Sly. This isn't a surprising news. And then we've got a Mixed Mag article here about that R charge. So, we know that's official. That's what I saw earlier. Bassman's also a known crackhead and has admitted to being on the pipe himself multiple times. Quite gutted, to be honest, to be fair. Did a lot for the jungle scene, even if his lyrics were repetitive and a bit jarring. He's turned off his comments on Instagram. We're going to get to his Instagram posts in a minute. I just wanted to get some of these comments Always used to see young girls head off with DJs and MCs back in the day at jump up nights. This doesn't surprise me. Just listen to the lyrics. The guy ran with the Burger Boy crew from Brum. If anyone ever thought he was anything other than a gangster and a crackhead who did what he wanted, then they're not sure what you thought was happening. Crack corner, like a lot of stuff about him being on crack. Distant Planet TV said there has been accusations against Trigger too. Interesting. So I haven't seen any of that. Disgusting, talentless, subhuman. So to be fair, and I gave a lot of a pre beginning to this, to say my main thing is to address the comments a lot of the time, and there isn't really many comments here backing him, is there? Like, most people are here going, nah, he's a wrong one. So it's like, usually in these cases you get a lot of comments coming out like defending. And don't get me wrong, we're going to get to his Instagram post in a minute, because when I first saw this, I went to look at his Instagram post and it had 3,000 likes, so he is getting support. Someone put up an account saying that he kidnapped her. Trigger, I guess you're talking about there. Wild, man. Mimi said, I was getting moved to by 50, I guess you're saying 50-year-olds, when I was about 18. He also got dropped from the scene from the same offences. Mimi's my friend in real life, by the way, and you know, she's proper drum and bass head, so she knows this world. Look at this though, absolutely wild story, especially the crack part. Okay, now fair enough. Wait a minute, I was about to attack that person and say, why is the crack part? But I guess he means making a cook crack, and that is wild, yeah. Glad she's speaking out about it. He deserves to go down. You know, this guy, he's not going to go down, do you know what I mean? But never liked Bassman as an artist. There were some comments I saw about his lyrics. Oh my God, someone put MC... I don't say that word on here because YouTube blocks you, but that rhymes with his name. Oh my God, look at that comment in the top bottom left. MCR man. MC Grape man, as they say on YouTube. I don't like saying that either. Oh, Mimi saying MC50. So I don't know who MC50 is. I guess that's related. Distant Planet said, I'm not really in the main G&B scene, but aware of some of the madness that goes on. Yeah, it's not my world, innit? It's not my world, but obviously... me being from the hip hop scene, I do cross paths with some people, innit? Like I know some of them know me, and I've been in certain events. But Mimi will tell you it's not my cup of tea. She used to try to get me to come to them events. I might have on a 1-2 odd occasion. Yeah, all right. Well, there's that. This is a difficult one to cover. It is a really difficult one to cover because there's not a lot out here to go on. But here's his response. All right, we're going to read this out. In light of recent allegations made against me, I am compelled to respond. Can I first start by saying I have never groomed or abused any woman at all. Any woman I have engaged with has been of legal age. Legal age? She didn't say she wasn't of legal age, mate. We just said it was disgusting if you was in your 50s and she's 20. So let's not use that one. And has always been consensual. I do not know why there has... I do not know why these has made these allegations against me via social media. However, I can confirm that the authorities have no record of any allegations or offences at all being logged against me. These allegations are and only are alleged rumours being spread via social media and have no truth or validity at all. Secondly, I can firmly state that I have never slept with this female who has made these allegations against me, nor has she been groomed or drugged by myself. I will not partake in telling stories or slanging matches over social media. There are always two sides to a coin, and all I will say is that this woman is no victim. I'm going to come back to that. Those deeply involved in the scene already know, and the truth will be told. This I took issue with. I commented something about this on someone's post. This woman is no victim. That's a very problematic thing to say. Because you're trying to paint a picture of her now that she's not been victimized in any way. Like she's somehow a bad person or she somehow can't have been victimized because it's her fault. It's built into a lot of the generic deflection and turning onto the victim. I've seen that said countless times. When a woman has made an accusation, they'll be like, she's no victim because this and this. And he's not going into the because this and this, right? He's avoiding that, but he's making the same narrative. So I'm not impressed with his response one bit, if I'm being honest. And I find it very problematic. And I want to wave my red flag. Oh my God, I don't have my red flag. It's upstairs because I was filming something else and I had it upstairs. That's a big mistake. That's the first episode I didn't have my red flag. And he said I won't get into slanging matches, but he's saying she's no victim and people know. Well, I know it's just fans or whatever, but all the comments seem to be saying that everybody knows he's a wrong'un. So if people in the scene know this or know something about her or whatever, it doesn't seem so, innit? And what else? In addition to this, I would like to take the opportunity to admit I am and have been dealing with a drug addiction. And this is what they always do, right? They'll admit to something to try and get people on their side, try and make them seem honest. The drug part in this makes it easy for him to do that. They often do it with the drug part. Oh yeah, I do have a drug addiction, so I've been in a bad place within myself for some time and can see that I have an arduous journey to recovery ahead of me. However, I know it is a journey I must make to myself. Again, I have dedicated my whole life to this scene. Every week spent has been building a legacy I am proud of, and I am working hard to get back to being the best version of me. Now, like I said, that doesn't matter. That you've got a drug addiction. Why are you choosing this moment to start focusing on that? It's not actually even relevant. Yeah, it's not relevant. So it's very, very, it's telling. Yeah, it tells guilt to me, if I'm being honest. Actually, I'm not going to come off that screen yet. Let me get back here, because let's look at any comments on this one. Echoing the other thread as they appeared here. Crackhead, dodgy rumours for many years, was good mates with convicted R-charge DJ Slayer, misogynistic lyrics, big I am attitude. Yeah, the guy is dodgy as F and comes across as a prick. I try to avoid swearing so much, but then it gets hard. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a bit grapey, but unless there's concrete proof, then he's innocent until proven guilty, and trial by social media is wrong on so many levels. Well, I don't really think trial by social media means anything. I don't think it works. I don't think, if he's cancelled for this because of all of this social media stuff, it would just be because, again, capitalism, people decide that booking him, it doesn't make any sense. But he's an old man. This only ever happens and it impacts their career when their career's over. So it's not really he's got much left to give anyway. But yeah, again, even the person who's kind of coming with that guilty until innocent until proven guilty thing is saying he's probably guilty. Seems bizarre to deny the accusation and vaguely apologise for something else in the same post. Spot on. Is the drum and bass scene more open to these, they're more screwed on to these issues? Because these lot in the comments are actually kind of spot on. If this was a rap, a UK rap thing, it might be problematic. Comment, Distant Planet, some main DJ from that scene same day put something up like F trial by social media, which I think was related. Yeah, I think I've got that comment here. I can't remember who it is, but I've got another thing up there. So we're going to get to that. And that's why I say I address these responders, innit? With that kind of weird statement, he's sending himself straight to the gate. I don't know, that sounds like if it's one of his bars or something. My whole Instagram was full of people from the scene and responding with stories of their own about people he's abused, some really dark-ish too. Still none the wiser. This woman is no victim. Look, someone else has highlighted this. Innocent or not, You're a CUNT for even saying this makes your whole apology worthless. Facts. I'm glad there's people that screwed onto this. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the drum and bass scene. Mimi, you lot are alright, man. I can confirm that I did not sleep with hyper-specific nor grooms subjective standard. This person, by the way, I'm a drug addict. Guys, I don't know Ish, but this statement does not work for me. Yeah, it doesn't work, man. Why does every single one of these turn into, well, actually, I am the victim here? Okay, at least let's get one defending him. Nobody should form a hard stance or opinion without evidence. There is no evidence and you believe something blindly, you're being lied to by someone else. If there is evidence, it will come out. Let's open that up just for our interest. Where do you think the evidence of crime committed 5 years ago in some issue Birmingham hotel is? Loads of crime get solved, blah, blah, blah. Psychos in these comments. I guess they're probably, maybe there's negative comments further down, but the good ones, I'm sure there's no chance a drug-addled brain wouldn't have intentionally or accidentally abused women or those around him. Bassman, everyone knows what he's like. And then we've got a problematic comment here that I can't scroll down far enough to see. Oh no, I can, because I can have a few more comments. Why do people go to social media to say they were SA'd? If it's true, I'd go to police first. If you are quick to jump on social media to say you were SA'd, but not quick to go to police, and I call BS. Would I call BS on you, my friend? Because guess what? 98%, more than 98% of reports of our charges to the police don't get prosecuted, don't go to court, because the police literally don't prosecute them. The CPS don't prosecute them. So if we're living in a circumstance where these crimes are not pursued when reported, then we can never ever use that narrative. Using that narrative automatically, to me, makes you our supporter. The dude clearly doesn't know what grooming is. Dutty Bassman has a whole new meaning now. I know a girl he smoked crack with when she was 17, probably about 15 years ago, so he's been a crackhead for a while. Yeah, it's just all there, man. The DMB scene is quite divided, to be fair. There's a good side of it, but jump up DMB scenes where this sort of thing exists. Let's move on to I think this is what you're talking about, Jumping Jack Frost. My years of life and experience has taught me trial by law is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Trial by social media seems assumed guilty, perhaps even if proven innocent. Let's establish the facts before judgment in any situation is the best thing always. And I think it was Terra that said this to me the other day. It's like, if this is true, right, that everybody knows what he's like, and it seems so, because so many people are commenting, like, everyone knows he's like that, like it's common knowledge. Then anyone leaving a comment like this means they're doing so knowing he's guilty. Like, you know he's guilty, but you still wrote that. That's suspect. You know what I'm saying? That's real suspect. Mimi said, that was my point with bringing it up. It's become normalized, our culture. Love the music, but I'm so blessed I'm out of it. Yeah, it's not these kind of scenes that I like this, man. It's just, yeah, it's difficult, man. But yeah, like I feel like, let's see how the comments go in response to him. In late 2020, stories came out about Eric Murillo assaulting females. US DMB DJ Empress claimed to have been a victim of his actions in the 90s while she worked at the NYC record shop. State like Frost was quick to defend her. What's the difference now? So he's saying another incident happened where Frost backed the survivor. Distant Planet said, actually another DJ said this as well. So there's two. I think Groove Rider. Wow, mad. Groove Rider's a huge DJ. Mimi said, yeah, they all know. And this person is saying the difference with this story and the other one is because the Murillo issue had been going on for decades, went all the way back to the 90s, and most importantly, Frost Empress are good friends. So he was friends with the victim and the survivor. I know both personally and for decades. I think a situation like this, it was your close female friend. You would trust her implicitly. You'd make an exception for trial by law. Yeah, but so if it's your friend, you do that. But maybe Bassman's your friend this time, so you're doing the opposite. People are very they're very fickle in it, and they're very fake. And this seems like this has also been going on for decades, and seems everybody knows. So there is no difference. You're kind of proving the point. People are allowed to change their stance on things. Oh, here we go. It's the bar. So yeah, dropping bars like "touch a little girl and she's starting to cry" is perfectly normal MC behavior after all. So that's actually one of his bars. Touch a little girl and she's starting to cry. Wow. It's not, but it's not proof of doing that. Do you know what it's proof of? It's proof you're a nonce. You have a bar saying touch a little girl and she starts to cry, you're a nonce. I don't care. I don't care about whether it connects to this accusation or not. You've got nonce bars. Why you got nonce bars, old man? That's it. That's it. Done and dusted. Someone said something about lyrics in the thing, but yeah, if you any other lyrics you know that are suspect of his while I'm talking about this, put them in the comment, because as a general rule of thumb, and Mimi or anyone who can point me to a video where he says that lyric, if I could find how to play that lyric right now, I would love to. But if you were so concerned, why I never complained about that lyric in all the 20 odd years? Yeah, cool. That's cool. I get that. But we're complaining about it now. So what? There's loads of lyrics that I heard years ago that I haven't complained about too, and I get it. But we can still do it now. That doesn't stop us being able to do it. It doesn't stop the point. Yeah. So Distant Planet TV said, so the trial by social media comments, the counter argument is that if the charges are not taken seriously by the police, it's good that these things are coming out and being discussed. Yeah, 100%. 100%, because it's just, yeah, if it's not, if there is no trial by police, then we'll have a little trial by social media. Let's be honest, like, he's going to get on with his life. Do you know what I mean? Like, his bookings might dry up, but they're going to dry up anyway. So he's not going to be cancelled in the real world. Nobody really gets cancelled for these things. And that's my belief of it. The cancel culture doesn't really exist that much. And then for a singular allegation, for sure, but when there's 7-8 women accusing someone, we know they're guilty. It's not like some huge celebrity people are trying to extort for cash or scandal. Yeah, facts. I'm saying he's not like some rich guy. He's a crackhead. And if they're saying there's 7-8, obviously I've only seen a screenshot of the one, but I can take people's word for this. And obviously people I know are in the comments telling me this, so, you know, I'm very confident this is... the guy's literally a crackhead. If that wasn't enough, the fact he preys on teenagers is more than enough to get him dragged over the landing. One comments here defending... Google MC Bassman lyrics and hit the first link. Alright, I'm going to try that in a minute, right? And then saying he has had load of gigs cancelled. Yeah, cool. That's what happens. Like I say, man, capitalism, they don't want to book you no more because you're not going to sell tickets. End of. So what? Innocent until proven guilty is a system the courts use because they have power to put people in jail against their will for the rest of their life. Innocent until proven guilty still protects people from the power of the state and arbitrary decisions. We as regular folks who don't have the power of a court system or cops or access to cages to put people in are not held by innocent until proven guilty. Big facts. We can judge people however the hell we want, including the strength of multiple allegations. Yes, round of applause. Innocent until proven guilty isn't extended to women, and many women have had untrue rumours, smear campaigns and disrespectful behaviour resulting in ruined careers and much worse, having their families threatened from men even nicely rejecting them. This is a long comment that I don't know if I can read out in full. Wow. But I've got it on the screen, and you know, people can pause that and read that. I agree with that 100%, just from what, you know, the opening point there. Is that women end up being the ones cancelled. It's often like people say, oh, the right wing people are cancelled. It's often really the left that get cancelled. They're saying men are cancelled for accusations. It's often really the women, like not just often, like vast majority of the time, it's like the women who made the accusation get cancelled. They get accused of lying. They get run down, have their lives ruined and stuff. That's the real truth of it, and it's a sad state of affairs. I've got one more thing here, and this is another thing I just saw. That said, Bassman isn't the only big name exploiting women and girls. I just wanted to come here and say I know absolutely 100% for a fact that what he was accused of is true, but also that he is not the only well-known man in the D&B scene who takes advantage of women and girls. The D&B scene is absolutely filled with men abusing their power. These cretins need to be stopped by people refusing to work with them. We cannot carry on allowing people like them to get away with abusing, taking advantage of, harassing and assaulting women. I know of 2 big DJs over the age of 40 who have been involved with girls as young as 15. Wow. Moving on from that, there are so many more male DJ, MCs and producers using sexist and derogatory language towards women, especially women who are successful in the D&B scene. Interesting as hell. This thread should play out, but one, libel laws exist. If you're going to mention names, we need proof, else it gets in the bin. No hearsay. If these are actually your friends, you're better off convincing them to go to the police. Call them out by name, otherwise what's the point? Well, there is a point. There's a point to discuss that there's an issue and we can't say names, or otherwise people, do you know what I'm saying? It's difficult to say names. That's something to highlight. Yeah, and maybe in time things will like come more clear. A few months back there was a pretty damning thread here about Goldie too, not necessarily underage, but SA being swept under the rug because he's too big to cancel. It was hard to believe at first. Oh, I'm mad. Alright, I'm gonna do one more thing. Is I'm gonna react to a video. I'm gonna close these tabs now because I mean it's the best I could do there was react to. I'll put this one small now. Was react to some comments and just see what people are saying, because I don't really know. Like there wasn't any videos out there. It's just conversations on, like say, trial by social media. I've not seen official news story. I'm gonna have a quick last minute Google and see if anything comes up as far as a news article. And there's a couple other videos that I've just found. But yeah, I'm not seeing any articles come up. So someone here clarifying my position. I don't know who this is, but I saw a comment saying about him headlining this festival. So maybe this guy's promoter of some sort is in the scene or whatever. And now I bloody go and muted it while I was doing what I was doing.
Man, and I just want to clarify my position about what I think about the allegations surrounding him. Look, every single person in the scene was aware that Bassman had a problem with the pipe, and no one is surprised about that.
With the pipe.
And that's not what the allegations are about, really. And even Bassman himself, on his Facebook post, he came out and he said, look, I do have a problem, and it's very admirable that he has said that. However, there are serious allegations that have been said by some women, and that must be taken seriously, and it 100% must be considered and respected, and we must listen to them. However, social media is not a courtroom, and so when I see people commenting crazy stuff that has not been proven in court, it does make me worry. And then there's also people throwing other artists' name into the ring, and that's just not good. It's not good at all. Social media is not a courtroom where you can try judge people just because you feel like it. It's not good to do that.
He's not making a good case.
Guys, God bless. The Bassman thing, look, everyone knew what Bassman was like, to be fair, in the scene. And people may say the people that booked him enabled him and this and that and the other. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. However, right, I think he will still be booked. Rightly or wrongly, I think 3-4 months' time, he'll be back on bookings.
Might have a point.
God bless.
I might have a point. I don't know what he's. I couldn't tell what that guy's angle was. Couldn't tell if he's against it, for it. Couldn't tell. Bit dubious. And his thing said clarifying my position on MC Bassman, and I left it not quite knowing what his position. I'm just having a quick look at comments, but anyway, I want to go back to what I just had up. So this video is called on sexual exploitation in junglist music industry, MC Bassman, right? I don't know if I'm gonna do this whole video, but this is someone in the scene, I take it. Let's see who they are. Counter narrative and I talk a lot about whitewashing of black music cultural scenes, and that comes into, I don't know how it quite relates to the allegations, but it comes into what this guy is saying here. And just on a separate thing, I'm very interested in what he says as far as the D&B scene and how it relates to that kind of whitewashing conversation I have about hip-hop. Just a comment from Mimi before I start that this whole courtroom stance is terrible. We all know most R cases don't even get to the police, let alone trial, due to evidence. And it's about time we started using social media to call these people, to cancel these people or call out these people. So yeah, I hear you. So yeah, it is ridiculous, isn't it? Like, they don't, and it's not just, like, let me just say, not just due to evidence. I mean, yeah, cool, it's hard to have evidence in a lot of these cases, but sometimes they do have evidence, and it's still like, it's not enough. They want this extreme level of evidence, so they don't bother to try. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the actual number off the top of my head, but it's like, unless they have a certain percentage of surety that they think they'll win at trial based on the evidence, they don't send it to the CPS.
Movement brethren of mine informed me last night about a young woman in jungle drum and bass who has disclosed she has suffered sex.
Do you know what, yeah? I'm going to take that off the screen quickly, because I don't know who that is in the picture. I don't know if that's the girl or the woman in question. And if it is, I think it's a bit irresponsible to put her picture out on the thing, because I didn't see her picture and nothing else. I know like she's done it from her own account and stuff like that, but I'm not trying to put like a picture of nobody. So I'm just going to play the audio of this.
Sexual exploitation by MC Bassman. I've been catching up this morning and just reading her testimonial on Instagram, and it just, it's just not surprising, although shocking, because the fact is, I'm a first wave junglist, drum and bass and garage MC. I picked up the mic in 96, 97. I'm still on the set. Very, very proud junglist. Really deeply, profoundly in my soul and being. I love this culture. I was modestly at the grassroots part of.
I'm going to put this back on the screen quickly. Someone has said it is her. When I edit this video, because obviously I'm going to edit this into a separate video about Bassman, I'm gonna block that picture out. But I'm just putting it back because it's got the text coming on the screen from the messages now.
Constructing this whole movement through the 90s into the new millennium.
It doesn't look like her picture comes back, so cool.
And, junglist is the expression of the grassroots, rooted in Jamaican sound system culture, but fuses a whole array of genres. And we fuse this together through music and MC culture, pirate radio, the clubs, the parties, the bedrooms, the cars, the festivals, carnival, everywhere. We bust out the sound, represent our culture. It's the voice of the voiceless, voice of the oppressed, towards joy, pleasure, imagination, unity. And it's a beautiful, great thing, but it this whole people's revolutionary culture, which is the junglist movement, then kind of sees itself being in contention with and a relationship of relative corruption with the actually existing kind of order in which we live, which is capitalism, colonialism, and white supremacy. And because it's a popular culture, capitalist interests will seek to exploit it, to make money out of it. And these two things are in direct contradiction with each other. The expression of the people's united voice towards unity, joy, self-expression, and freedom, and then capitalist interests who are going to exploit that to make money out of it, who don't give a shit about the people at the grassroots. So when Medusa has disclosed what she has, it's no bloody surprise, because every day, since I picked up the mic on the set, and before I picked up the mic, when I was in this general junglist movement, and being a young person inspired by the music and the historic music of the time, soul, R&B, funk, jazz, acid jazz, rave, hip-hop, punk, rock, grunge, everything sonically, that our expression, that this stuff, the people's popular culture will be exploited. So every day since then, before I picked up the,
I am not sure the connection. I mean, I can make a general connection to everything saying 100% in that white supremacy and male supremacy, patriarchy ties in, and capitalism ties into a world where people abuse people 100%. Yeah. So the first comment they say, I came here to find out about the accusations, and now I'm confused by all this stuff about white supremacy. But I think there's two things going on here that I think maybe though I should have, because this seems to have all the comments. I should have maybe just read this out without at the beginning, but too late now. I should have just muted him and read this out because it had the proper text on it.
Mike, I've always thought, what's going on? What's going on in terms of exploitation and oppression within our communities when we go to the club, when we're at the pirate station, when we meet up with friends, it's like this constant kind of element of misogyny and sexism and even racism and capitalism. Like if like, for example, if people are breaking out in fights in the jam, in the club, and MC Shabba-D has to stop the tunes and get security to deal with it, I always thought, why don't you speak on the mic about that and advocate that we shouldn't be fighting, advocating unity, like really getting that message across? And same with the exploitation and oppression of women and girls in our scene. It's like, why is no one like expressing that we should be through on the mic and through the tunes, that we should be actually liberating?
I'm with him, don't get me wrong, I'm with him. But I always take a stance defending the music when it comes to hip hop, when like youths are doing drill music, rapping about their circumstances. So I'm not saying it has to be in the music fully, because I get the music has a certain energy, and is in a certain expression of angry emotions or whatever you feel you need to rap about and MC about. But I completely agree with him. Why, like, when we're looking at these things going on and we realize that so many people know about them and how normalized they are, why is the scene not speaking on it? Like, why are we not saying, no, this is not cool? Like, if there's a fight, we go, stop the fight. But if women are being abused, nobody really says nothing.
Oriented, and this is a resistance movement actually against oppression. Why aren't people speaking to this? And all at the same time, we know that any organization of men which is not accountable by the community will oppress and exploit. Any organization of men that's not accountable to the grassroots and the community will oppress and exploit. And it does through terror. People are intimidated. When people are ripped off financially as artists, and then women and girls are abused, it's the same frame that's not accountable. Of men, which is not accountable by the community, will that we should be actually liberation oriented, and this is a resistance movement actually against oppression. Why aren't people speaking to this? And all at the same time, we know that any organization of men which is not accountable by the community will oppress and exploit. Any organization of men that's not accountable to the grassroots and the community will oppress and exploit.
That's some
And
deep.
it
That's
does
deep.
through terror. People are intimidated. You know, when people are ripped off financially as artists, and then women and girls are abused, it's the same framework of oppression. It's the same bloody thing. It's colonialism, capitalism, white supremacy. That's what it is. When UK Apache went on the DJ Ron London Something podcast and talked and went proudly with his Free Palestine badge, DJ Ron didn't allow him to talk about the Palestinian issue, which he wore literally on his chest and his heart. It just wasn't allowed to be expressed. And then when the UK Apache said he got ripped off and he got treated like shit as an MC, it's kind of cut down by DJ Ron, because DJ Ron has a capitalist orientation, however much he understands, and he's a junglist pioneer himself. But
Listen, I think my man's like, he's really spitting. He's really spitting, and I'm big him up. I do take a slight issue with the fact we're talking about a specific thing, like abuse against women, and like maybe they don't want it all deflected to all of this capitalism stuff. I agree, all of this comes from under capitalism, and maybe looking at that helps with solution. And when I talk about, you can go on my page, you can see videos, interview that the podcast I did with the Domino Effect, where I talked about how feminism helps men's rights movements more than men's rights movements do. That is like the main thing I pointed out, was that all of these men's podcasts that are saying what's wrong with relationships and women in this day and age, they all just target women and blame women, when actually the problem is capitalism. That capitalism is the problem for all of these things. So I get it, but at the same time, I just don't know. I'm not sure what we should take away from the moment of women speaking. But no, generally, I'm with it.
orientation is capitalistic, and therefore he cannot, in that framework, respect UK Apache, and indeed he lambasted UK Apache, patronized him, and humiliated him in the London Something podcast. You know, like literally admonishing UK Apache like he admonishes his own children. He explicitly said that, right? What I'm trying to say here, it's just an ongoing problem, and we haven't really still got a movement within Junglist and Garage, etc., that is really bringing light to this fucking oppression. And it's frustrating because, you know, now I'm a dad. I mean, I happen to have only boys, but I have to raise my boys to say respect women and girls, that you have to, you know, you have to be a part of defending the people, defending the community, defending the grassroots, defending the junglist movement in that regards. And as an MC, listen, as an MC in junglist culture, it's difficult enough anyway. MC culture in junglist drum and bass is in deep ongoing crisis. It's all over the place. There's such a mass ignorance and disrespect in terms of MC culture in jungle, which is rooted in reggae dancehall MCing. That's what it's rooted in. I mean, you can have a diversity of chatting styles. You know, no one's against diversity of expression. We encourage that, but at the same time, this is a particular kind of cultural movement, as well as including and taking on board those diversities. It has a particular kind of aesthetic, it has a tradition, it has its roots, and that's generally not really being represented. And we lost Stevie Hyper D decades ago. We lost Skibber a couple of years ago. You know, we've lost Fats. We've lost a whole bunch of MCs who have gone to the ancestors. And can we say that the baton has been passed on to the younger generations in terms of how these leaders represented the sound and the lyrics? No, we can't say that. We can't say that. And even there's an element within junglist drum and bass where there's a kind of a racist ridiculization of that ragga dancehall based MC culture, which is, I'm sorry to say, it's just most expressed through the kind of
Ridiculization. I don't know if I've ever heard that word before. I'm googling that word. I like that.
superficial sound of Jungle Cakes and DJ Decline, and also even Chase and Status's award-winning Badadan. That's been widely questioned and critiqued by the junglist movement grassroots themselves to say, well, is this really what our traditions represent? Anyway, it's important that discussion happens around that. What I'm trying to say with MC culture, we're in enough crises as it is. Big up Ragga Twins, big up Navigator, big up Shabba still on the set. Big up some of the original wave who are still representing that MC culture in a relatively healthy way. But we don't, the fact that Bassman is caught up in this, and you can hear misogynistic vocals in MCs. Even Shabba comes up with nonsense, disgusting sexualized lyrics about women in his jungle lyrics, still to this day in recent weeks. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense because it's a violent antagonism. You can't represent a people's revolutionary voice and then be anti-people. When Jai Shaka says, without Black Power and the Black Panther Party, there would be no reggae, if he turned around and started talking shit about women in the community and in the dance, it's a total violation of who we are and the community and the sound and the tradition and the ancestors. It's difficult enough trying to be a authentic junglist movement revolutionary MC. It's difficult being that because you have all this capitalist nonsense distorting it, racist dynamics in the capitalist industry.
I wonder how much, obviously it's not my world, innit, but how much the scene, like previously and currently, feel about whether they're a revolutionary movement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that from my knowledge of the early days and that. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's interesting. Obviously, he's an old school guy trying to push for that. Like, there's similarities in this that I could speak to old school guys in hip hop, my world, and I'd have some pushback for some of the things he's saying, just because I defend the scene. But I'm not like I'm completely against what he's saying. I mean, I'm down with most of it. A couple comments and we'll finish it. Johnny Coombs said Westwood, 100%. I've never actually watched that Westwood documentary. Maybe I should. I don't know if I can do a whole live of the actual documentary of what I guess it's not a copyright. You're allowed to do whatever reactions to whatever, I think. Mimi says Shabba is a known crackhead as well. I mean, yeah, I've heard that for years. Chris Hayes says, isn't dancehall deeply homophobic and misogynistic? That culture has trickled through. Well, then it's trickled through from higher up than that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's trickled through from all over. I would say, I don't like to blame music culture for these things. And I that's the pushback I'd give to this brother talking now, usually. But I don't feel like he's actually attacking the music like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he even bigged up Shabba there and then pointed out some of his lyrics as well. Like, we can do both, innit? Like, I don't like to blame the music because there's a system of white supremacy and capitalism, exactly what he's saying, and patriarchy above all of that is way bigger than this music scene. It trickles down from white supremacy. So that's what we've got to address. Like, keep the blame there, which is what he's done in here, and then we address within our community how we handle those kind of situations and how we hold accountability to men, for example, in our kind of in our scenes. Chris Hayes, I can't say that, can't read out Chris Hayes' last comment, but he's just talking about homophobic lyrics in dancehall. Yeah, like, I get what you're saying, innit? But again, yeah, same point what I just made. The guy says the culture has always had that edge from the music it takes its inspiration from. Yeah, well, no, he didn't just say like you got to understand, you're summarizing, you said dancehall, so fair enough, but that comes from reggae culture beyond dancehall as well, isn't it? Like, and reggae music, because I had someone else who wrote a comment saying reggae music is homophobic, and we had to no, it's not. What are you talking about? Actually, if you look at the actual origins of that music and the revolutionary levels of content in it, is way beyond any parts of homophobia that's in it. But Chris Hayes saying, my opinion of how maybe the scene ended that way. I don't think so. I don't think so. And we haven't talked. There's no homophobia been mentioned in any of this about the DMB scene. I'm not saying it's not there as well, but we're talking about abuse of women. Actually, we're not just talking about lyrics. Do you know what I'm saying? And Mimi has said, just like drugs have been pushed onto us by the higher ups, and I guess she's referring to like what I'm talking about a bigger system being what actually pushes this onto us. But that doesn't mean we can't look at our part in it between ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? I just don't like when the music gets blamed, because the music usually gets blamed by those higher ups or by people that are trying to serve them, because they want to blame us. They want to blame a music culture, especially black music culture, so that they can deflect from them being the blame. Like, oh, it's you lot's fault, when actually you lot are a result of their system. But let's just let this finish. Got a few minutes left.
In the music and entertainment industry, you have enough misogynistic bullying, in Junglist Drum and Bass online, when that young DJ, I forget what her name, for a second, when she was DJing in front of a mirror, a petite young woman, who wants to wear whatever she wants to wear. I mean, the sound was great. She just got incessantly bullied. And people who should have known better in the scene, in the junglist scene, joined into the bullying. That is rape culture. When a young woman wants to represent the sound and has a right to show off herself proudly, in so doing, when she is attacked by hundreds of people and people with relative influence in the scene as well, that facilitates the exploitation of all of us. You don't think just because the women and the young women are targeted, therefore other men aren't going to be targeted for capitalist manipulation and being ripped off and exploited. You let one oppression pass, you let all oppression pass.
This is a deep brother,
As an MC, I want to unify people in the dance. I want to unify people on the sound through the pirate radio. And that's what I was committed to. And that's what I was pushing with my crew back in the day. And that's still what I'm pushing through. On the lyrics, in the last months, I'm still writing about this stuff. About how men and women, young men and women, boys and girls,
there's the Groove Rider
in the sound system, culture and community.
There's the Groove Rider comment that I think it was Distant Planet TV pointed out. What do you think? I think I'm not about trial on social media, so F off. Yeah, that's way too much energy, bro. Like, shut your mouth, innit? Like, how about that? How about you F off? Like, I love how these guys got so much energy for all of this, man. Like, have that real energy out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Be out there saying F off about the potential of abuse to young girls. Are you mad? Are you actually crazy? And the fact is that, as we've already established, it seems everybody knew about this, so he's probably a person who knew about it still, and is talking like that with that energy, because actually they just want to cover it up.
Community, in the junglist community, in the garage community, etc. How we interact, how we should relate to each other, how we should unify, how we should navigate all these oppressions, right? And we got children now entering into the junglist movement. As teenagers, as children, and as young adults. I'm so proud my children are involved in junglist now. I've got a duty, I've got responsibility to them, to protect them, and I can only protect my children by protecting all the youth in our community, in our culture. I'm so pissed off. I'm so upset, and I'm pissed off and upset every day about this. Every day. It lingers on my mind. It lingers in my ethics and my morality and my practice. Every day this is on my mind. So big up Medusa. Big up all the women who are calling this shit out. And big up all the people, especially the brothers. The producers, the DJs, the MCs. Everyone standing in solidarity. Raise your voice, raise your voice, raise your voice. And to hell with the pieces of shit covering this up. As someone said on social media, if you're covering this abuse up, if that's your first reaction, how are you implicated in this exploitation and oppression? How are you? It's a clue as to you're then defending this stuff. So what's your role in oppressing and exploiting? You're baiting yourself up, bro. You're baiting yourself up.
Yes.
Big up the junglist movement. Big up the junglist movement.
Alright, so that's called Counter Narrative News, that guy's channel. And yeah, big him up, man. Yeah, big him up. Distant Planet TV said this guy speaks sense, big him up. Chris Hayes said the guy talking sounds more suited to a farmer's market rather than a rave. He said he was actually a Drunkalist MC, and then he said just a joke, by the way. So yeah, we don't mind jokes around it. But I was tagged in that on Facebook, I think, by Mimi, and I think it was tagged in his Facebook post about it. And Chris Hayes said just common sense, really. Yeah, no, it is, man. I'm gonna check that guy. I might try and interview that guy. I might actually try and get him on the Social Justice Warrior podcast itself, because I'm realizing I actually want to talk about racism and white supremacy's impact on the drum and bass scene, and it's not something I know about, and he seems like someone who can speak on that for days. So I'm going to research a bit about who he is and like what his involvement in the scene is. But I'm going to wrap things up, but I just want to, before I do that, because I was told to Google something, Google MC Bassman lyrics and hit the first link, someone said. So I had this whole Myron thing I was going to respond to, but I think I will leave that, man. And hit the first link. So let me just put that on the screen. MC Bassman lyrics. And this is the first link, right? It's on his actual website. Let me know. Let me just say I've got the comments back. Let me know. Distant Planet TV said, let me know if this is the one if you wanted me to look at. Oh God, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. And then he said he knows that scene pretty much like myself. Yeah, it seemed like he knows the scene, man. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what. Sharp like a razor. Is this his own website? Oh, what is this? mcbassman.co.uk. This can't be his own website, and it's got these mad lyrics. Cut you, F you up, make you bleed. Okay, and ladies, keep your legs tightly closed. What is that? What kind of lyric is that? Like, keep them closed or else, or like, don't let me catch you kind of thing. For those trying to get close, not to tripping on the knee. Bassman are talking, no propaganda, we effing heavy. When we not around, you know she used the finger. Okay. I take it these are like punchline, like well-known lyrics of his. And yeah, this sometimes said that's the one. It will tell you enough. When we go KFC, we say give me 5 chicken wings. Yeah, it's some dirty bass, man. When we get girl, it's all over. Like, that's Dirty Bassman must be a famous. I don't know anything about this guy's lyrics. I probably never heard them. Maybe I have, but in my head I don't know in it. But I saw someone say a new meaning of Dirty Bassman in the comment before. Remember, like a black Superman flying over porn stores. 6 minutes left on this set. That means I only got 6 minutes to get my dick out. Bruh. Yeah, behave, mate. Behave. Yeah, a couple weird ones. But the worst one was the one The worst one was the one we already saw in that other thing, man. But let me just... Chris Hayes said the sexual rhymes in D&B are cringe as F. I hate that. I mean, I'm not in that world, innit? I don't know it. But look, I listen to hip-hop with the worst lyrics. Like, I listen to the worst lyrics. I still listen to them now. Some things I don't like. You know, I grew up listening to Snoop Dogg. That was my introduction to hip-hop to a degree. And it's like, you know, I love that album. Sonically it's just a masterpiece, but I can't listen to it as much as I used to, man. I listen to it now, I cringe at some of that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, just on my new understanding of life. Do you know what I'm saying? Me, that's his whole style, punchline bars. Yeah, well, MC Bassman, it's looking sticky for you, mate. It's looking sticky for you. I would wave my red flag if I had it, but I don't have it here. I mean, I did my best trying to cover the story, but all I had was comments to go on. That brother's channel, that brother whose name was Counter Narrative News, big him up, big up Counter Narrative News. And let me just put that back on the screen quickly. Just put that back on the screen quickly so you can see his channel, right? Counter Narrative News. Go and give it a subscribe. I'm not even subscribed now. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to like the video. And I'm going to check out some other stuff. I'm going to leave a comment there. I'm going to hit him up and find out a bit more about him, man. Let's do something. Let's continue.